Today we're going to be unwinding with our brushes and colours and painting this moody abstract landscape, so grab your brushes and let's begin. I have a canvas panel. I have Wedgwood Blue, Payne's Grey, Titanium White, Deep Green, Primary Yellow and Quinacridone Magenta. I have my makeup blending brush, my long flat brush, a palette knife, I may or may not use this, a filbert brush, angled dagger brush. I have a jar of water. Now normally I would have my spray bottle, but I cannot seem to find it at the moment. I think my kids have played with it and yeah, I just cannot seem to locate anywhere. So I'm going to have to wet my canvas with my brush. So I'm just going to wet the canvas all over until it is really nice and wet. If you have a spray bottle, just go ahead and spray it until your canvas is covered in water. Grabbing some white and some Payne's Grey, I'm going to add some water as well to make it a thinner consistency, and I'm just going to apply that to the top of our canvas, maybe even slightly down. I'm going to also go in with some more white. So we've got very moody weather here at the moment, so I'm in the mood to play with kind of dark and soft colours. And then I'm going to take some deep green and some Quinacridone Magenta, and this is to neutralise my green, to not make it as... You can add some yellow as well to kind of brighten it back up. We should have this kind of very dark and moody green colour. Okay, can add maybe hints of yellow going through there, and then taking some of that Wedgwood Blue, just cleaning up my brush, taking some of that Wedgwood Blue, also go in where the grey is and add some of that to it. I'm going to take some more of that Payne's Grey, but just without any titanium white added to it, just to add some darker parts. And then I'm actually going to take some Payne's Grey and mix in some of that green with a little bit of yellow, just to get a moody green colour again. Adding different shades of the same colour makes your painting more interesting. Going in with my flat brush, I'm going to start off by starting off in the lightest areas of our paintings. So for me, it's anywhere where there's some white, and then using a dry cloth, I'm just going to brush that off, and then you can slowly start to go where the other colours are. You want to maintain some of the shape, so you do not want to use very big and harsh strokes, otherwise you will lose and all the colours kind of blend a bit too softly together. So you keep a very, very light hand and just kind of go around in small motions. And you just want to go in soft. Starting to look like a cloud now, which is fine because we're going for a moody painting. So I'm going to now go to the bottom, and I don't want it to be too blended, just very, very softly. Want to soften out some of the lines, maybe go and just kind of dab, but I do like kind of the harsher looking lines and the separation of the different shades of green. So I think what we're going to do here is we can go in with a second layer whilst it's still wet, some of that deep green colour, some of that Payne's grey, and kind of just deepening, adding a tiny bit of yellow to add that mossiness to it. So we're just going to go over again where we was and kind of add some more depth to the painting, so we've got a stronger colour payoff. Grabbing some of that yellow, going back in, again we're doing all of this whilst it's wet on wet, and then the kind of blue-green mix, so taking some of that deep green, Quinacridone Magenta, and some of the yellow. We're going to go in, grab more of that. Okay, I think we've got a good amount of colour on there. Just start brushing off where, and you can kind of just do kind of these side to side strokes, so we get this kind of wind rush movement, almost as if there's a storm going on. Oh wow, that looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? Oh wow. This is the beauty of not planning your paintings, is that you will do something that you've never done before. And I highly encourage anyone who enjoys painting to just try new things that you wouldn't expect. You can even kind of go back, grab more of that colour there. You can also grab some more yellow. You can play around whilst it's still wet. It's very easy to be able to just kind of continue playing with your colours, and then going back and just adding that back and forth. We don't want to overblend too much, so we maintain some of the colours and the visuals. I think I'd like to go in at the top with a little bit of light blue. So I'm going to grab some of that Wedgwood and some white just to lighten it up. And I'm just going to add some of that there. And then maybe a little bit of white to the middle, just to kind of just going to go same forward and back. Like so. And then you can kind of blend it in slightly. I'm going to leave this to dry before coming back and adding just a few final touches. Okay, my sky is about 80% dry, so I'm going to grab my angled brush, dip it in some water, and now going in with some white and a tiny bit of Payne's grey. I'm going to kind of do these small suggestive strokes. I really don't want to do too much. I want to keep it very, very minimal. Okay, I think that's more than enough. Maybe just one more here. Okay, that's enough for there. Now, for the bottom parts, I'm going to be grabbing my filbert brush and taking some of the colours that we have, so some of the green, maybe mixing that in with some of the yellow. I'm just going to add a bit of texture to some of the parts, just to give suggestion of maybe some landscape. I really don't want to overdo it, so just being very, very intentional. And then if I find that it's too much, you can go in and blend it out as well. Certain parts, maybe some here. I'm just grabbing my filbert brush and dabbing. And then what you can also do is grab your palette knife, and with your palette knife you can maybe take a bit of Payne's grey, maybe a bit of deep green, and you can kind of add a bit of texture. To the painting. Maybe grab some yellow. I'm just being very, very light-handed because I do not want to create too much going on with the painting. Okay, being very, very intentional and careful, because this painting is suggesting a lot and we haven't, you know, it's telling a story. You can see the kind of landscape. We're building something up. We do not want to take away from that. We want to add just a little bit of texture, just to continue adding some more depth into the painting. Okay, maybe some yellow here. Yellow there. Here are the final results for today's painting. I had so much fun exploring and experimenting with these colours. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and leave me a comment and let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.